Yo, hey, niggas lose brain cells every day, B. You be all right.
Yo, what up, everybody? Welcome back. You know what I mean? You know how we started off. Cash, you ready? You ready? I'm ready, G. Word.
Ready.
The watch should
Ready
go to
for
right
the
for you know
big
how that
ride,
go.
baby.
Yo, we take it. We a little bit more excited. You know what I mean? Usually, if you heard us all last season, we was just like, "Fuck this niggas."
Word, right?
People were wearing black to do the show because we just felt like we were just dying inside slowly with
Ready.
all the losses. But nah, not no more. There's new energy and new life with the big blue, and we're here to talk about it today. So, with that being said, salute. We're gonna have a great show. Yo, it's 4:40. It's
It's 4
44 and
forward,
6 in the
6 in the
trap.
trap. Shout
Salute,
out to
my G.
Scatterboard, my nigga Thought.
Word up.
True story, they bringing the team back.
Woo.
Even if Philadelphia was forced to lean back. 4 forward, 6 in the trap, and I'm ready, baby. Ready, baby, ready, baby.
Facts.
Ready,
Oh man.
ready for the big ride,
Ready? Are you
baby.
ready?
All right.
Ready? Are
I'm
you ready? Oh
As
man.
y'all can see, I came on this joint sauced up. But yo, I want to welcome everyone back to Real Sports Talk, New York's new #1 sports talk show. We are unequivocally the voice of the streets. That's a fact. You already know what time it is. You know who I am. But if you don't, allow me to reintroduce myself. It's your boy Cash. And you know I'm riding with my wingman, my dude who rides shotgun, my co-pilot, the one and only Q.
Yo,
What's
yo,
poppin', my G?
what's goody, bro, man? Yo, what's
What's
good, man? It's
poppin'?
good. It's good, man. It's like it's that season too, man. Yo, because I know there's very few people who agree that about this season right here, man. It's like that hoodie weather, that nice, chill, brisk. It just feels good. You can
It
you can
feels
smell
good.
the cool coming. You know what I mean? And then it switch up and it's like -20 degrees with 6 feet of snow. But we ain't talking about that right now. We talking
You
about what we dealing with right now in front of
know
us,
what we
man. But
talking
it just
about this
feels
week?
good. Life is good.
Life is good, man. Absolutely, life is definitely good. And yo, just to elaborate on what you're saying, and we're doing this while everyone files in because we're gonna do this live or whatever. We'll give them a few chances to catch up to speed or whatever. But what you're saying when it's the crisp hoodie weather, I agree. But you know what? Normally when the seasons change and it starts to get dark in the hoodie weather, it takes me a minute to adjust. I usually get a little depressed. But this year I really like legitimately get depressed, and I didn't even know that's actually a thing. Like changing of the seasons, a
Yeah.
lot of people get depression, but I didn't get depressed this year, man. Maybe because I'm
Yeah.
too busy to even think about it. You know what
Well,
I'm
it's
saying?
usually
But
the time. Well, it's usually I don't know. Well, it's usually the pressure too between the change of the weather, and it's usually a
in
lot
the
of people
holiday
with the
season,
change of time and shit.
yeah, and
You know what
also
I
the
mean? And
holidays
then
coming.
the
But here's the thing:
holidays
I'm not
come
getting
and
nobody shit this year, so there's no pressure on me,
nah,
man.
yeah, word, yeah. There's no
Y'all didn't
pressure, man.
squeezed every drop of fucking blood out of me these last. No, we stop. I'm
That's
kidding.
it. That's
Always want
it.
to take care of
I
yourself.
got a bus token or train token from the '90s for everybody. That's it, yo. My Secret Santa is gonna get $1 bill.
I'm not even doing Secret Santa. I'm just hiding on Christmas. Y'all ain't even gonna see me. But yo, you know what though? I'm fucking around with y'all, man. I want to thank everyone for tuning in, man. It's awesome. Thank you for the love. The boxing shit is doing dope. I want to shout out my boy Preem, aka Jay. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? He's been MIA. He's been, been handling business, but I wish you the best of luck, and whenever he's ready to come back on, it's all love. It's all,
more than
it's
more
all
than
love, and it's
welcome.
all gratitude, and it's all good. Listen, normally we do bunch of different segments and shit. 2 to 3 segments, but man, this week I said, man, we gotta just we gotta do the whole entire show on the G man, baby. You know what I'm saying? We gotta do
Facts.
a day because listen, they coming out the grave, man. I told
They
you,
just they certainly.
practically rose you from the grave like the crows do. I told you. I'm turned up today, man. I'm turned the fuck up, man. Shout out to the motherfucking
Fact
Giants,
though.
man. We tick tock gunshot. That gunshot was whack as fuck. I gotta get my sound game up. Hold up. Let me do that again. Tick tock gunshot. There you go. That's better. That's better.
I thought you had a silencer or something. Like I can't hear
Yeah,
it.
me too. The other one was like pat pat. That shit was whack. But shout out to the Giants. All right, let's get into it, man. Let's get into it.
Shout out to the big blue.
Yo, listen. We're talking Giants, man. Listen. It seemed to start the season. It seemed like any other season in the last 12 years, outside of the Dable season where he came in and he won Coach of the Year. It just seemed started off abysmal, dark. We're looking at another
Depressing.
losing season, depressing, stressful. It looked like you know Dable getting whacked, Tony Soprano style was the inevitable, and then out of nowhere, a ray of sunshine pierces through the clouds and shines all over New York City and New Jersey by the name of Jackson Dart. You know what I'm saying? Even through the dark cloud of the Malik Neighbors, injury, a ray of sunshine shining over New York City and Jersey and the tri-state area, man. And I said, wait a second. Oh shit.
Hold a
Hold
minute.
up. What am I doing in this coffin? What are we doing in this coffin? We're not dead yet. You know what I'm saying? Yo, the Giants possibly have turned the season around, which is incredible to me. Now, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I'd be jumping out the window. But I'm gonna do it very cautiously. You know what I'm saying? The Giants possibly could have turned the season around, and at the very least, if they haven't turned this season around and put themselves in some type of division contention or playoff contention or wild card contention, what have you, we at the very least might be seeing them rebuild and get themselves back to respectability and and a winning culture and a winning franchise, a franchise that has been a staple and a cornerstone in the NFL, for the last 30 years, 30 some odd years, right? Um, Listen, a nice couple of wins. We only got 2 wins in the season against the Chargers, which at the time was a really big win. It may not have aged as well now, but it's still a really big win. Granted, I know their O line was beat up. Joe All got all that. I get it. Still a nice win. Everyone thought they had no shot against the Eagles on a Thursday night. They go in, Eagles come to Giant Stadium. They take care of the Eagles. We're going to break that down a little bit. But 2 big wins. Now, the Eagles are reeling a little bit, and we'll get into that. But still, 2 big fucking wins, especially Eagles win division. You already know what time it is, man. Here's my thing. You can make the case, right? You can make, motherfucker. I know motherfucker gonna try to smoke me in the comments, but you can make the case that the Giants should be 4-2. Now, coulda, shoulda, woulda, right? If it was a spliff, we'd be all fucked up. If it was a fifth, we'd be drunk as fuck, right? I get it, that, right? But you could make a case that we should be 4-2, right? Hear me out. Timely interception against the Cowboys, right? Russell Wilson throws an interception, puts up big numbers, 40 some odd points, 450 yards. Probably, I think it's maybe, if I'm not mistaken, maybe it's the most yards he's ever put up in his whole career, which is almost like
Yeah, he broke his own stats.
he broke his own stats,
For a single game, yeah.
which now knowing we know, it's crazy because we know the Cowboys defense is terrible, but
Yeah.
that the interception and a couple other miscues coupled with, which I still don't understand, Shane Bourne playing a prevent defense, what I'm saying, that let Dak drive up the field and get in field goal position, to get them back in the game. Just a terrible mistake. That's against the Cowboys. Should have won that game. Me and you watched that together. It was exciting, but honestly, you can make a case that we should have won that game, right?
I agree.
Against the Saints, right? You agree? Thank you. Big fumbles and interceptions. 5 costly, huge turnovers against the Saints. The Saints team that, they're a live dog at sometimes. Sometimes, what I'm saying, they played well against certain teams. The Bills and everything played well against us. But at the end of the day, those 5 turnovers by the young guys, the young inexperienced guys in the game, which we had control over. Honestly, if you really think about it, definitely should have won that Saints game. That would have put us at 4-2. The Washington game obviously was we lost outright or whatever, man. But even still, right? We still got a shot, man. We're slowly creeping back into this grinding, climbing. The division is wide open, man. The Giants have a real shot to get back in this race, right? Think about this, right? Let me break down this picture. Just deal with me for a minute if I'm long-winded. Eagles all beat up. Zadarius Smith, he just retired, right? They got a bunch of injuries on both sides of the ball. Landon Dickerson banged up was out. Jalen Carter, Quentin Mitchell, right? We all know all the players they lost to free agency and trades preseason. You know, a lot of key defensive guys like Josh Sweat and Milton Williams, going other places and getting big contracts. AJ Brown, whatever for whatever
Is
reason he's not
he's,
meshing. He's
he's
disgruntled.
seeing ghosts.
Yeah, he's seeing ghosts. He's salty. He's on the sideline reading books. He's upset. Like for whatever reason is, as talented as he is, he's just. I know they forced the ball into him last week and everything, but he's disgruntled and it's just not flowing for some reason with AJ Brown for whatever reason, right? So they're having issues. They lost two in a row. They're reeling a little bit to the Broncos and the Giants. Like I said, the defense is banged up. They have some issues. Nick Fangio's defense, is not like that vaunted Eagle defense we're used to seeing these last couple of years. Harry Roseman, a really good GM. I think he'll figure out, but there's some chinks in the armor, so that's a good thing, right? Let's move on to the Cowboys and run down the division. Cowboys, prolific offense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Offense is very, I'm not even gonna say in front. Offense, them motherfuckers are. If the Cowboys had a speck of defense, they would run fucking dudes out the building because their offense is prolific, right? It's very, very impressive what they're doing, especially what Dak is doing with CeeDee Lamb out. George Pickens, he's stepping up to play. He's out there hooping. Javonte Williams is having a good season, but amongst other people's, but the defense is atrocious. Maybe the worst. Yo, and this is no hyperbole, man. This might be the worst defense I've ever seen in my life, bro. This is like terrible. I know losing Micah Parsons was gonna affect your front seven and your defense as a whole, but good lord, you know what I'm saying? That was a real gut punch. But yo, the secondary's trash. You could throw on anybody. Eberflus, who got clipped by Chicago last year, you're not getting the job done as a DC, my man. But hey, I'm a Giants fan, so I appreciate you. Thank you very
Yep.
much.
Not my problem.
Exactly. So that's the Cowboys, right? Let's move on to the Commanders. Real brief recap, like I said. Commanders, I don't know. Seem like they might be coming back down to earth, right? Yeah, they've
Mm-hmm.
had injuries too. Debo, he was banged up a little bit. I know he's back. McLaurin is hurt. You know what I'm saying? Noah Brown banged up. JD5 was banged up. Those are all super key pieces, you know what I'm saying? Especially on the offensive side of the ball.
Word.
You know what I mean? And maybe, listen, I like even though he's a JD5 is a Jaden Daniels is a commander. I like him, man. I always I wanted the Giants to draft him. We didn't get to pick him that year, but I think he's a baller. But maybe the league is starting to I don't know catch up to him a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Now that they had a year to look at film, I know he's banged up. That's yet to be determined. But with that being said, we could run through both sides of the ball on every team and go to the injuries and everything. But the bottom line is NFC is wide open. Giants have a real shot to get back in this race. We know they need a couple of things. We know what's going on with neighbors. We'll talk about Dart and my boy crazy ass Scatterboo in a second. Pumping juice back into the team, pumping life back into the team. I know that's long winded, but I'm saucy and I'm drunk. Q, you one of the biggest, probably the biggest Giants fan I know. Um, what are you thinking? What are you seeing? How you feeling about the revitalized Giants?
Yo, I feel. Hold on, let me. This is how you know I'm happy. Usually I'm depressed. I take a shot before I.
4-4-6 in the trap.
Word, man. Oh, this. I'm not. Say every time, like when we were watching the Cowboys game, and then we were like we were texting each other when we was watching the Eagles game.
Yeah.
Yo, is this real? Like I don't even know how to like. Is this a fluke? I don't even know how to deal with this. We're so trained for for dismal performances
Yeah. Facts.
and horrific losses
Yeah. We're conditioned for that shit for
in
sure.
bad fashion. Yo, we're dead ass conditioned. You know what I mean? Like, yo,
Yeah.
we don't go to the gym lift weights. I go to the gym. I sit at the bench press and I just watch the highlights of the Giants losing. You know what I mean? Like that's what that's what we've been doing for 10 years, and we started the season like that way. Like this is the perfect way to say this, and I think I said it before. It's like, yo, I don't know if this is a pause or whatever it may be, but they making me feel like I got menopause, man. Like, yo, we started off,
Men are pause.
yo, word, man,
Men
on
are
pause,
horse.
right?
Yeah.
Because we started the season thinking like, I'm not even gonna watch another game, right? I'm not even gonna watch another game. I don't care for the Giants. We're gonna get another pick. I'm over here thinking the craziest thoughts, like, wow, we're
Facts.
probably gonna end up trading neighbors now. Like, this was all for nothing. what are we gonna do? Like Dexter Lawrence is gonna request a trade now because we just
Andrew
getting
Thomas
we
is
hit
gonna
rock
get
bottom.
hurt.
Yeah, and Tom's gonna we hit rock bottom. And
You
Thomas
know what I'm
got
saying?
hurt. Like, what are we gonna do? And then I've always blamed it on one person. Which still he still gets into that category of his play calling. They do need and I think they did. They made some type of changes, especially during that Saints game, even though we lost. But some of the some of those same differences, some of those similarities, I should say, you saw it in the second half. That's why we did lose that Saints game. Like they stopped changing it up. They came out the gate looking like they were gonna win, a perfect team, like nothing was
Yeah.
gonna happen. And then out of nowhere, the whole game plan must have been like, yo, protect the ball, protect the ball.
And they took
Yo.
away his security blankets because it was all Theo Johnson and
Mm-hmm.
Bellinger in that first couple of drives in that first half essentially. And they said, okay, you know what? They don't have Malik Neighbors. We're gonna take away all the underneath shit. Let a receiver go out and beat us. And we couldn't do it because we're down Malik Neighbors. We'll talk about the receiver thing in a minute. But sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, but scared money don't make money, man. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you still, and especially in this new age football game, if you're not willing to throw the ball down the field, you're not gonna win, man. Like
Yeah,
you're not gonna win scoring 14 points or
yeah.
20 unless you're the Jets. And I don't mean to disrespect New York
The
team, but
dink and
you
dunk
know what I
era
mean.
is
Like,
over.
it's not that screen passes, but just to answer your question, I do feel rejuvenated because we had an up and down year, but it's starting to feel like everything that they saw that we didn't, because we did have ups and downs on who they drafted and why they drafted. And we thought Russell Wilson was going to be there. Then, they bench him after 3 games and start, dart against the Saints. So, but at least we feel that energy. Like we feel that energy going into every Sunday now, or every game, because maybe a Thursday, but we go into that game like, hey, if we play like that, we could win. Like we could really win. I didn't feel like that last year. I haven't felt like that for like 10 years, man. Like I haven't felt like, damn, man, I feel like we needed everything, and as far as it seems, I was like, damn, I hope somebody gets hurt. They don't play, like, because we gonna need everything on our side in order to make this shit happen, right?
Facts though.
And for us to beat the Chargers, who were one of the best teams, and for us to beat the Eagles, who were the defending champs, like everybody said, the Eagles is it, the Eagles is it. And, for us to go out there and we don't have to do no stats, you saw the score. That's not that team, that's not just a lucky win. That's not just a one-off. Oh man, you guys, we got injuries. Nah, you just got outplayed, homie. Like you definitely got outplayed by a Giants team. And I think if we continue this momentum and with this energy and these young guys like Cam Scatterbull and Jackson Dart, unfortunately, we don't have Malik Neighbors, but I'm hearing through the grapevine we all working on getting another wide receiver because let's all be honest, you know, the reason why there's such an urgency for the Giants to win because they're not doing it for the fans, like as much as they are, but still, there's 2 men whose jobs is on the line, and that's Dable and Shane.
I don't
So
know.
they
I don't know if Shane. Listen, I don't know if Shane's on the line anymore, man. Like if you really take a really really good look, yeah, he's had some misfires, but he's had some good good picks and even good trades. The Brian Burns trade is coming out to be like some genius shit.
no,
You
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
and I agree. And if he would have, catch the noose, I would feel. And I think we've
I
always
think I
we've
think
always
Dable
spoken
goes
about
and I
this.
think Shane stays low key. If
But
that was to come to that, in my opinion.
yeah, and I think the only way that Dable stays is he has to win at least. And I'm being completely honest, man. Like he has to get over 500. I said he has to win at least 9 games.
Or they have to seem, in my opinion, they have to be ultra competitive if it's less than that. You know what I mean? You gotta see incremental improvement. You know what I'm saying? And you see the way Dable is, and I don't mean to cut you, my nigga. I'm gonna throw
No,
it
yeah,
back to you. And that's the beauty of our show. We just like we it was like we
nah,
talk
of
like this.
course.
We talk like this on the phone. We talk like this when in person, watching the fight, the game, whatever. Um, I lost my track of thought. What was I saying? That's crazy. It's the old nigga shit. Yo,
With
hey,
Dable,
niggas
we
lose
talking
brain
about
cells
Dable.
every day, B. You be alright. What
Word
you
up.
say?
You was talking about Dable.
Dable. If he wins less than 9 games, he has to be competitive, right? They have to be competitive every single game, and you have to see you're gonna have to see like some type of progress. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to see progress on both sides of the ball. You're gonna have to show me something that goes, okay, you know what? You've earned yourself, another season, um, and another season, and for the good of the team, we need consistency for Dart. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna let you rock out. We're gonna let him have consistency with the playbook and the coach and everything. Yes, that's important for a coach. You know what I'm saying? That's important for a rookie QB. If you're seeing some type of forward, some type of forward progress, and Dable, man, Dable. When Dable first got here, he had the Cuban link under his shirt. He was listening to fucking hip hop music and the fucking, after wins, he's pumping his
the
fist
locker
in the
room
silence.
and shit.
Now the nigga beard look all fucking dried out and shit and crazy. And you know what I mean? When Dart went in that tent, yo, I think he might even be getting fined or some shit like her like that.
Yeah, the concussion
That
protocol.
motherfucker could. They had to pry him away from that tent. He saw his fucking. He saw his whole
his
head
career
coaching
go
job
down. Yeah.
gone. That shit was crazy. And Scatterboy didn't give a fuck. He went right in the fucking tent. Shout out to
Yeah.
my man Scatterboy. 4'4",
Yo,
6 in the trap,
Scatterboo don't
nigga.
play around, son.
But for the sake of consistency and for the sake of for the sake of Dart, if they're showing improvement, I think you bring him back. Now, if they look bad, you don't give Dable another shot just for the sake of consistency. Consistency of what? Losing and looking bad and playing bad, and you know what I'm saying? And you've always been on it, you know what I'm saying? Like the coaching
Play
as of late. Now this is what, listen, because you've been saying this for a long time, the play calling, right? But here's what I'm thinking. Was he tailoring the play calling to what he thought the quarterback was good at doing? I mean, obviously, right? Because the play calling definitely, like you just mentioned a little while ago, to your point, looks a lot better. A lot better, less predictable, stretching, open up the offense, open up the playbook. You're seeing a lot more shit down the field, right? We looked at him in Buffalo, and we said, man, this dude is like a progressive offensive mind. You know what I'm saying? He's look what he's doing with Josh Allen. Josh Allen was a rookie. Now, granted, Josh Allen is ridiculously skilled, but Josh Allen was kind of wild in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? And you saw Dable come in and kind of start to mold him and kind of put him on the right track. Now he has a guy like Dart who he believes in, who's actually his guy, who he didn't inherit because he inherited Daniel Jones, and they signed, Russell as a stopgap guy, and the Danny DeVito bullshit and all that. I never thought that was gonna work, but now he has a guy that he goes, I drafted this guy. This is my guy, right? I believe in this guy. I saw something in this kid because don't forget, we traded up. We traded our third round pick, and we're going to talk about that in a minute because we're looking to get a receiver. We traded our third round pick to get Dart, which I think is a good move. I didn't even think Dart was going to be available. That surprised me. I didn't think he was getting the QB this year out of the draft. But, he has this guy, and he goes, okay, I can mold this guy. I can do it. He guy's like a lump of clay. So, a long-winded way of saying is that, was it his play calling, or was it just he wasn't comfortable opening up the playbook with subpar quarterback play, in your opinion?
Yeah, but I think that's for him. That's his question to ask. Like we saw what Daniel Jones was capable of doing. Like Daniel Jones didn't have like the worst arm in the NFL. It's not like he was also accurate. Like and he was basically another point. Jackson Dart. Like, to be honest, man, he was another Jackson Dart. Like, what is the difference? He didn't have, the only thing different between these two gentlemen in their rookie seasons, because we don't know what Jackson Dart's going to be in the future. Exactly. That's the only.
I don't know about only difference, but that's a big difference.
Because we saw, and obviously, we saw inconsistencies in any rookie quarterback. Nobody's gonna be perfect. You're gonna see inaccurate throws, overthrown, underthrown. You're gonna see fumbles. And you're gonna see decision making that takes too long. I think the biggest difference, before I answer your question, that I see from Jackson Dart and Daniel Jones is that what's gonna make him successful. And now I'm like actually confident now, and I believe in that. Is his decision making, how comfortable he is. Look at him go through his reads.
Who? Daniel Jones?
No, Jackson Dart.
Yeah.
Look at him go through his reads, how quick he makes his decision, and he just moves, and then he throws the ball. Like, that that's something that just talent, right? You can't really teach that. You could teach that, but it's gonna take forever. You kind of have to have that gift of like knowing like what feels comfortable and making your read and make the smart decision, right? There were decisions that he made that caused interceptions against the Saints, but to be honest, even though he is to blame because he threw the ball, do you really blame him because of what type of call that was being called and the type of the defenses? The whole game plan went away from exactly what they were doing and succeeding at to now leading up to, the Saints coming back and somebody make the decision to say, hey, let's start doing this now. Let's start playing this run game and we're gonna just eat the clock away. Like that's cool to do that, if you have a substantial lead. But it was still a close game and they just thought that Cam was just going to take it away and lead us into the homeland. And then what happens? An unexpected bomb of 80 plus yards from Rashid, who we gonna speak about because that's who I think that the Giants are gonna actually probably trade for. But
I feel like the Saints gonna give up their whole fucking starting receiving core. I'm hearing what Adam Schefter says. But go ahead,
probably. But back to the play calling, I'm starting to almost feel like Dable had too much say into it. I feel like now it's more of a Kafka play call because we've seen what he did with the Chiefs.
Kafka had it the year before last. Remember, Dable took over the play calling last year, and there wasn't that much difference.
Yeah, but then he also and this is the difference between Daniel Jones and we also didn't have, Malik Nabers. Oh yeah, we did have Malik Nabers. But Daniel Jones is Daniel Jones, man. Like at that point, that was just a Daniel Jones who didn't want to be with the organization. There was too many talks. Like I think that was just a bad year for Kafka to have to play call because when you don't have that moxie, you don't have that energy. You're losing every damn game. Everything is so predictable, and your defense is not playing as well because you're losing every game. And you have nobody to energize everybody up. We didn't have like what else are you really gonna. Like, what else do you really expect, man? Like, everybody know, like, we were the team that can't score a touchdown. We were the team, yeah, they'll get to the red zone, but they're going to kick a field goal. Oh, yeah, they'll get an open pass.
3 weeks in a row, scoring an opening drive. I almost lost my fucking shit.
That ass, right? Like, and I think now they're starting to understand, like, you have to play that game where, utilize these guys, man. These are quarterbacks, man. You're like, at the end of the day, they're built to throw the ball, not run it. Right, they're built to make smart decisions and see what guys are open.
They're built to do both now. I think this is a new.
Well, yeah, this definitely is a new era. But at the end of the day, they're gonna lose their running ability before their throwing ability.
Yeah, later on in life. You know what I equate that to? I equate that shit to like Roy Jones, right? Because Roy Jones was when he was at the peak of his powers in his prime. He couldn't be hit. He was just insane. Now, I'm not saying he didn't have fundamentals, but he had so much athletic ability that he would do things that people couldn't do, right? And maybe he didn't exercise all his, the basic fundamentals, but he was so athletic and so gifted and so quick and so elusive that he was just one of the most gifted fighters I've ever seen. Similar to quarterbacks, right? They're running now, athletic ability. But when Roy got older, the athletic ability went away, and maybe there was a lack of fundamentals there, and he started a rapid decline. You know what I'm saying? Something like Lamar. That's why I'm glad Lamar has been able to, get his throwing game on point. He's getting a lot better with his accuracy, and he's always had the arm, but his accuracy and his reads and his progressions and all that. He reads defenses. He looks off. He goes through all his progressions with the receivers. He's getting better at that. Something I think Jalen Hurts needs to do at some point as well. But I equate those two because when your athletic ability goes and you no longer can run, can you stand in that pocket and sling that rock? You know what I mean? So I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, and only a select few do. And those are the guys that, throw for 35, 40,000 yards, you know what I mean? And they make it, to the promised land. And,
on the Hall of Fame, yeah.
Yeah, shout out to, Jalen Hurts, and I don't want, the Eagles is just between 4 tush pushes on the goal line in a row. Like Jalen Hurts,
they need to redo that shit. They're gonna
I still think Jalen Hurts is a little bit overrated, man. Like they think he's like the savior. He got talent, but don't let especially a team game that requires you know, a 52-man roster, right? And it requires 11 on the field on this side, 11 on the field on that side. Make it seem like he's the reason that homie didn't throw for 5 touchdowns in any of the Super Bowls. He didn't lead the game. Like he didn't really do much. Like he's thrown for a decent amount of yards. I think he hit 4,000 twice. And I'm not even trying to shit on him. I just know this. But I watch him play, and I do this off the eye test. It really doesn't surprise me how he played against the Giants on Sunday, that last week. Like, it doesn't surprise me because with a defense like that, like that's exactly how I expect him to play against a good team. You know, like it's either he wasn't. What is he gonna say? He wasn't prepared. You know, like you really can't say and fight and say, damn man, like that's why Eagles fans feel so different. They feel so differently because they know that they face probably one of the worst teams in the NFL.
Yeah.
And got handed. And they're you can't blame it on one O lineman and a cornerback. You can't blame it all on that. There's other things going on with that.
But it's more. No, it's definitely more than that.
It's a little. No, yeah, of course. But everybody got injuries at this point. Then, so did we. How many times did we have injuries? We just lost our number one receiver, who's probably would have been. His numbers would have probably been up there with like Puka. Puka's having a crazy season. Yeah,
Puka's out of
and
control.
Puka just got hurt, so it's like that kind of sucks because now he has to deal with a high ankle sprain. So he's gonna be out for a couple of weeks. But the Giants this year, they're competing, and I think even if they don't think it, they're probably going into these locker rooms thinking that we're gonna make it to the Super Bowl because that's what the mentality has to do, and they have the group of guys to be able to involve everybody in that energy.
By the way, Cooper DeJean and Adoree were getting cooked. I'm just keeping it a stack with some subpar receivers.
Adoree, and that was because
Adoree used to be our guy, but yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, but you know what? You want to go to the other side, so it is what it is.
They was hunting them.
Jackson
Dart was hunting them. He was like, it's 4-4-6 to the trap.
4-4-6. But I'm liking what I'm seeing. Like I haven't been so happy. Like I used to dread going into Sunday, and you know what my ritual used to be. You know what my ritual used to be, and what it kind of is. Up until we beat the Eagles, my mentality was like, we're gonna lose. We suck. Except only game 1, I'm like, hopefully we win. Commanders, I'm like, we lost. Fuck it, let's get this. We got week 2. Cowboys, we could win. Oh, we almost won, and it's like, shit, we lost again. So now I'm already down. This is how I'm going through my week to week emotion. You went through the stats. I'm going through Q's emotions week to week.
Facts though.
We go to the Chiefs, and I'm like, damn, Russell, what the fuck is going on with him, man? And then you're looking at the Chiefs, they struggling them damn selves. I'm like,
they're starting to climb back though.
Yeah, they starting to climb back, and they always will, because that's what good teams do. But and
they got homeboy back this week too.
Who what's his name? Rashee Rice.
Yeah, Rashee Fried Rice. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
and then now, like, but I'm after game 2, I was like, after game 3, I was like, we're gonna lose against the Chargers, man. I'm watching that shit in my living room, and I'm like, had no beer, no chips. I'm just like, just laid back, and I'm like,
just down.
I had nothing. I'm just down. I'm like,
fucking rice cakes and fucking charcuterie.
I wasn't even eating that, bro. I was like, I was fasting. And then
celery sticks and rice cakes.
I was eating all the shit I hate.
Them niggas was.
I was eating shit like I hate, bro. Like I was like, oh man, raw carrots.
Yeah.
Fucking. And then they won. Then they going. Now my energy's high. I'm like, the Saints. We definitely going. All right, if we come in, we just played the Chargers, who's one of the best teams right now.
Yeah.
We gonna come into the Saints, man. We can do this.
No, I agree.
I'm like, fuck these niggas, man. Like, that's it, I'm tired. And then we go into the Eagles. I'm like, we're going to lose again now. We're going to lose, man. And I'm watching the game, and I'm like, this is, like, do I have to hope that do I have to think that the Giants are going to lose in order for them to win?
No, that's a great point. No, that's a great point, man. I love this. I love how we flowing right now. Pause. Like, it's just genuine. It's just what we thinking. I didn't write a bunch of notes this week. I'm just dropping, dropping bars off the top of the dome. Pause. But here's my thing. I just want to go back before we get into. I want to elaborate on your point, but before I get into that, I just want to double back because I wanted to push back just a little bit on the Jalen Hurts shit. You know what I'm saying? You make some good points. Do you remember last year we did a show and there was a clip in there that said, I think it said, is Jalen Hurts overrated or Jalen Hurts is overrated, whatever it is, and
Yeah.
the Eagles fans got in all up in our guts. Pause. You know what I'm saying? They was all in the
That's wild,
comments.
but yeah.
They was there was like a 500. They was what they don't
Word.
play when it comes to Jalen Hurts, right? Jalen Hurts is like he could be in a Tyler Perry fucking movie. Jalen Hurts, right? Um, Here's what I want to say about Jalen Hurts, right? And I don't like giving credit to the Eagles. I hate it, but I pride myself on being non-biased and being fair, right? And I'm gonna make an analogy. Jalen Hurts to me is now don't get crazy. It's not apples. It's not 1,000% accurate, but Jalen Hurts to me is Derek Jeter, right? You know what I'm saying? Um, Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen is A-Rod. Gaudy stats, big home runs. Can throw the ball from short, can throw the ball from third. Very talented, crazy arm, 5-tool player, right? You know what I'm saying? Hits for average, OP, the whole thing, right? Jeter, maybe not as gifted, maybe not as talented as A-Rod, but just is clutch and makes the right play at the right fucking time. You know what I'm saying? And I shitted on Jalen Hurts last year, but when I look at him, he now obviously last week and everything, I get all that, but in the Super Bowl, he makes I gotta give him his props. I can't even front on Jalen Hurts. Now he's not Joe Burrow, he's not Josh Allen, he's not throw someone else out there.
He's not Patrick Mahomes.
He's not Patrick Mahomes.
He's
Right?
not Justin Herbert.
He's not Justin Herbert, right? None of the elite guys you wanna throw out. He's not even Baker Mayfield at this point. Baker Mayfield is hooping.
Baker Mayfield's
He's not even Dak. These dudes
playing.
are hooping, right?
And Dak is
Hooping.
Man.
Dak and Baker's hooping. But he is clutch, and as much as I hate to do it, I gotta give him some props. Now, let's talk about Jackson Dart because you brought up Jackson Dart, man. I'm so in love with Jackson Dart. Pause. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And I was wrong, man. I was motherfucking wrong. I thought in my mind,
But when you wrong, you're wrong, but you're still right. Because when you're wrong, you're still right because you're right because you're wrong.
Remember that line by West Studi? Even when I'm doing something wrong, I'm doing something right. Remember that shit?
Yeah, word. Now, I was talking about the 50 shit, man. When what's his name? Terrence Howard.
Oh
When
yeah,
he picks up 50, he's like, yo, because when I'm right, I'm right. But
Oh,
when I'm wrong,
yeah.
I'm right
Give it to
because I
that
know I
giant
could have
movie.
been
Yeah,
wrong,
yeah.
but I'm still right because I know I could have been right.
No, that's a fact. That's a whole fact. But what was I saying? Oh, Jackson Dart.
Yeah, Jackson Dart, let's go.
Man, I was wrong. My bad. See, brain cells.
Yeah, you were wrong, man.
Mine is brain is several things to waste. Listen, Jackson Dart. I mean, I don't know what to say, man. He's a breath of fresh air. And I was wrong. I was just trying to get myself together. I was wrong because I was like advocating for Russell Wilson or Jameis Winston to start because I have been traumatized by the New York quarterback situation. You know what I'm saying? I've seen quarterbacks get, destroyed, so to speak, right? In New York and other places as well. We saw what happened with Sam Darnold, right? Sam Darnold, phenomenal year when he left. He went to the 49ers after he left the Jets, kind of like a transition year. Got to the Vikings and balled out. Kevin Conley, I know it's a really good. Kevin Conley's his name, right? Yeah, Kevin Conley, really good system. Sam Darnold looked good. Shit the bed in the playoffs. Goes to Seattle, having a really good year, right? So we can see how a team can destroy people. Not everyone can make it back. Shout out to Sam Darnold. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, Zach Wilson destroyed. I don't see him making it back. Mac Jones, even under the great tutelage of Bill Belichick, didn't really play too well. Mac Jones is with the 49ers now. Mac Jones is looking pretty good. Even if he comes back, there might be a quarterback, controversy with him and Brock
And
Purdy.
Brock Purdy. Yeah.
But either way, Mac Jones is going to get a job somewhere if he doesn't win that night. He might even fuck around and win the job, but we don't know, right? Dudes like that. Who else am I looking at? Baker Mayfield, right? In Cleveland, right? Arrogant, young kid. Didn't have a really good team behind him. Had good players, but they weren't cohesive as a team. We're thinking he's a fucking bust,
Kirk Cousins
right?
did it multiple times.
Right. Kirk Cousins did it multiple times. Right, but Kirk Cousins' situation was a little different because he was with RG3, with Mike Shanahan and everything. That was a little weird how they drafted like two fucking quarterbacks in the same round. That was a little weird. But who was I saying? Baker Mayfield. Seems like a bust in Cleveland. I think he bounced around a little bit. He went to the Rams, right? Went to the Rams for a hot second, right? Sean McVay had him. Sean McVay's a good coach too. But anyway, they didn't hold him. Winds up going with Todd Bowles and them guys to Tampa Bay. And if he keeps this up, it's going to win the MVP. He's hooping this year. Let's not get it twisted. And as much as I want to hate him because he's arrogant, Baker Mayfield is hooping. So certain guys can come back, right? But for those 3 or 4 anomalies that I'm saying can come back, there's 1,000 guys who don't come back. You know what I'm saying? So I was thinking, like, man, I don't want the Giants to screw this kid up. Let him sit. And I even said as much as, like, you can go back, and I'm not even going to front. Let him sit the whole season and learn under Russell Wilson. But I was dead wrong because the Jackson Dart era is here. Thank God for Dable wanting to save his job, man. 3 weeks in a row, like I mentioned a little bit earlier.
Dable wanted to just avoided unemployment.
Right. Puts him in 3 weeks in a row scoring on an opening drive. Do you know, if you're a Giants fan and you have the pain and inner turmoil that we have, do you know how long it's been since we've seen the Giants score on opening drives, bro? It's the most frustrating thing in the world. They're moving the ball finally.
Just in general.
Right? And it just seems like, playoffs, I don't know, but it just seems like the gloomy days are behind us. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to talk too soon, but that's how he feels, is the energy. Him and Scatterbull, the energy was electric against the Eagles. It was electric against the Saints and the Chargers, but it was something about that Eagles game. I felt like that was like the turning point, man. Now, I know he's a rookie. He's going to have some valleys to go along with the peaks. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying, to me, it actually looks and feels sustainable, man. And what I like about him is against the Eagles, he played a lot better than the previous week, obviously with the big turnovers and everything, and I chalked it up to him being young. I get all that. I'm okay with that as long as I see, incremental progress, and I can actually see incremental progress from the Chargers game up until the Eagles game. Right, the accuracy has been better each week. He's you referenced Reeves earlier a little bit before. He's being able to read the defense a lot better, especially the third week. He's reading the defense, and he even said, which is crazy. He even said there's some things that he hasn't seen, and when he goes back to the sidelines, he talks to Dable, he talks to Kafka, he talks to the quarterback coach, and he makes the adjustments already. That's incredible. Shows super, super duper duper high IQ. Like you also mentioned, shout out to you, Q. You're a really good football mind. His progressions, you know what I'm saying? He's going through all his progressions. He's not forcing shit for the most part. In and out the pocket. He's throwing on a run. He's extending plays. He's throwing across his body. He looks special. You know what I'm saying? And it's just it looks fun again. It looks contagious. The energy looks contagious. I think it might have been last week. Brian, what's crazy? Brian Burns talked after the game. I'm gonna get to that in a minute. Scatterbull was after the game with Fitzpatrick. That motherfucker stripped down, and them niggas is chest bumping.
Like a fraternity.
I'm loving this shit though. It's young, youthful, exuberant energy, right? But Brian Burns talked about it after the game. He said it looks and feels fun again out here. You know what I'm saying? He said the energy is amazing. Like you just said, like two college. Exactly what he said. 2 college frat boys. This is out there slinging the rock, having a great time. Tyrone Tracy was out. He's coming back. I want him to get, because everyone's super excited on Scatterbull, and I am as well. Like I just said,
don't sleep on Tyrone though.
Don't sleep on Tyrone. Tyrone brings a different type of skill set to that offense. Scatterbull is out here on some Brandon Jacobs laying linebackers out. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
right.
And dudes have respect for him. Even the the DBs on the other side on the team. They after the game, they say I remember I forgot who was it. He's like a little bad kid. He's like that little bad kid who
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah. I think
acted
that
out.
was on the Eagles team,
Yeah, I
right? He's
forget
like,
who exactly who it was. I see his face in my mind, but don't let's not forget about Tyrone Tracy. Um, and they're just out there back to the basics. They're having fun, and it's contagious. And you can see you can see the joyfulness and just the overall exuberance and the love they have for the game. But sometimes you need to get back to that because losing can just be like a contagious disease that'll spread throughout your fucking franchise and just eat you guys alive. Um, let's give some shout out to Burns, man. He's tied in the league with sacks with 7. He had a players meeting, I believe, after the Saints
the
game.
Saints lost, yeah.
Yeah, Saints lost, and he whatever he said, whatever they did, players only meeting, defensive players only meeting, whatever he said seemed to galvanize them dudes. Um, the defense is playing a lot better now. There's some things when I envision this team, I envision the front seven flying all over the place, pressuring the quarterback, sacking the quarterback, and not all of them has done it. Burns and Thibodeau have basically been the ones holding it down. And I think it's only going to get better. But Burns, great trade by Joe Shane. He's showing how much of a leader he is. His moves. If you really look at him on the field, and I like to look at shit like that. I like to look at the defense, his moves, his double moves, his spins, getting to the quarterback. He's just a phenomenal athlete, phenomenal trade. Brian Burns is hooping. Great fucking trade by Joe Shane. I think the defense is only going to get better. We see Cordell Flott had a really fucking phenomenal interception last week. I know Banks is still not living up to, what we thought he could be, but overall, I'm happy with what I see with the defense, man. You got anything to add to that?
I think I think people need to stop and I think us Giants fans already know what we see with this Giants team, and everybody else who looks at this Giants team is going to be like, yeah, but you guys don't have nobody with 4 or 5 sacks or whatever. Yeah, but you know what we do have? We have wild pressures. I think, and this is one player that I think we need to give some shout out to as a rookie. Number 51, Abdul Carter. Like he's leading. He was almost leading the league in the amount of pressures. Like they're trying to focus and he's only playing about 46 to 50% of the snaps. He's not even on the field.
He hasn't hit his full potential yet. Yeah.
So when he is, they're keeping eyes on this guy, which is allowing everybody else to apply that pressure because and that's what I've been seeing from this Giants front seven. I think that's what we haven't been seeing in a very long time. It's giving me mind frames of it's giving me memories back to like Carl Banks and Lawrence Taylor and Michael Strahan and
Umenyiora and Tuck
and Tuck and because that's what we had. There was so many guys that get played interchangeable. Obviously, Dex is always going to stay up there, and he's always going to be the guy everybody worry about. But you can't double team everybody. Somebody's eventually going to break through, and that's where the pressure happens. And while we're allowing all those pressures, allows good football players like Dak Prescott, what's his name, Jalen Hurts to cause an interception, to almost be. Like if we would have did that pick 6, I think that probably would have been the first one in like 3 years. Because us even getting the ball back, us even causing turnovers, is a rare camaraderie, right? Like that's something that we're not accustomed to. But I'm just liking how this football team is playing, and now it seems like they're gelling, and it all has to come to, to be honest, I don't know if I could even put this all on Dable. So Dable's hoping all this shit work out because that's the only way he's gonna keep his job, man. But he really needs to be, that's why every time Jackson Dart scores a touchdown, man, when he goes over there to congratulate him and he's whispering in his ear, he's like, yo, thank you for saving my job again, boy.
That's exactly what he's doing.
You know what I mean? But I'm loving what I'm seeing, man. It feels good again. It feels like life is normal because what you said, depression and losing is toxic and contagious. And when you imagine being a losing organization that is still considered one of the best. And I feel sorry for the other losing organizations that have to deal with this for so long. You know, it's just unfortunate. I'm not even trying to like make no fun of it, but it just sucks to root for a team that keeps losing and losing and losing. And the Giants, we're not used to winning all the time, but we're not used to being fucking the bottom of the barrel for so long, man.
So long.
You know, I understand rebuilding. Yo, you can rebuild the whole community in 10 years, man. You telling me you can't put 52 guys on the team to get some wins, and now we feel like we actually have something,
Yeah.
and I think we need to run with it. And it feels good to now actually wake up and be like, now I'm excited to watch the Giants play and watch everybody else play. Like I'm not even, you know, I don't even care about the fantasy this year, man. Like you know, like exactly. I'm just watching football to watch football because
Sundays
my
are
football
fun
team is winning.
Yeah, especially with the Jets sucking and the Giants looking like they're gonna suck. There's optimism. That's optimism is powerful, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That optimistic energy. Let me ask you this: as optimistic as I am, right? And I want you to take lead on this. As optimistic as I am, how the Giants could, you know, we talked in the beginning of the show how they could be a live dog in the NFC, right? We talked about, kind of broke down the NFC a little bit. Joe Shane is gonna have to go out and get another receiver. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You see, it was very evident against the Saints game, and I know Wandell looked good, and I know Humphreys had a little. I'm talking about in the Eagles game. Wandell was Wandell's hooping. I know Humphreys had a big catch or two, and even Jalen Hyde, you know, he had a catch or two. He didn't have I think only had like 18 yards, but he had a catch for a first down. When they take away, you know, because it seems like Theo Johnson and Dart are connecting, that you're seeing some chemistry between them. You know, he's going underneath, you know what I'm saying, on third downs. And, you know, Theo's a nice, big, strong target who's quick and athletic. And shout out to Theo Johnson because he's playing really well. But you saw the Saints at some point make adjustments and take the underneath across the middle tight end safety blanket, you know, aka, you know, Brady, Gronk, Kermit the Frog, which I mean, who sounds like Kermit the Frog? Patrick Mahomes. He was like, Joe, stay from me. Kermit the Frog, Travis Kelce duo, you know, duo type shit together. Shout out to Patrick Mahomes. I'm just playing. But that's how he sounds. He be like, Joe.
Yo, he does though, bro. That's the first time I'm ever hearing that.
Really? No, they have whole memes about the nigga shit. But
I don't be on social media like that. Damn, I gotta be on a little more shit. Yo, that's fucking hilarious. B.
No, but that's how he sound. But
that's exactly how he sound. I don't know why.
Like, Coach Andy Reid. No, but well, listen. Now, listen. He's taking that when the Saints made. Listen, when the Saints made that adjustment, and they took away the underneath stuff, you saw we had a problem, especially in the deep game. You know what I'm saying, with Slayton and everything. I'm sorry. As much as I love the Giants, I gotta keep it a buck. Shane, I know there's talk about it. You gotta go out and get another receiver. These guys ain't gonna cut it. Humphreys, Hyatt, and I've been praying and wishing Hyatt, because there's another guy we also traded up to get, would turn into a deep threat. I don't know if it's him. I don't know if it's I don't know what it is. It just doesn't seem to be it. Slayton. I used to say Slayton's not a number one. Slayton's not even a number two at this point. Bo Collins, who looked good in the preseason, he doesn't seem to be, you know, up to snuff. He's not going to do it. You know what I mean? When Malik Neighbors out, we need to go out and get a you know, a guy who can step in and be a number one, and a guy who can be a phenomenal number two once Malik gets back, right? They're going to have to get crafty because they don't have a ton of cap space, to be honest. I think, and I'm not really like a super cap guy, and I don't really like the business. I like the X's and O's. I'm not really like the super business guy, but I think they have a million or less in cap space. So they're going to have to get crafty. You know what I mean? They traded their third round pick last year to get Dart. A lot of people believe it's going to take a third round pick. You're not going to give a second round pick up for a receiver. You know what I'm saying? You might not get a receiver for a fourth round pick. Depends. So people seem to think the going rate for a premier receiver is like a third round pick, which they don't have. They're going to have to get crafty. You're hearing names. Olave from the Saints. You know what I'm saying? I like that. You know what I'm saying? He's a number one. You know what I'm saying? You hearing names like Jaden Waddle. I heard Jalen Waddle's name thrown out there. He's a number two with Tyreek Hill. He's number one. I think he has the potential to come in here and be a number one, and damn sure could be a number two when Malik Neighbors get back. You mentioned Jacoby Myers, a versatile veteran. I think he's even requested a trade, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
he wants to be out of the Raiders.
He wants to be out of there. Jerry Judy, Jerry Judy. I don't like. I would do Jerry Judy. I'm not mad at Jerry Judy. He probably wouldn't be my first pick, but him and Dable, I think they were together back in the days in Alabama. You also mentioned you seem to be on your game. And this is a name that's been thrown out. Rashid Shaheed, right? Speedy, playmaking motherfucker. Then you got other names like Romeo Dobbs, Jawan Jennings. I kind of like Jawan Jennings. I would fuck with Jawan Jennings. You know what I'm saying? Christian Watson. I don't think that's too realistic. And there's a bunch of other names. Tell me what you think about these guys. Who would you pick? And what's gonna happen to the receiver position in your opinion? And then we'll probably get out of here after that.
Well, I think obviously we already know that they're doing it, man. They're really fixing to make a move, man. Like you can see the type of moves that they're making in the organization. They're clearing some cap space. They already made some moves with the practice squad. So they're moving some things around to clear up to fit another contract in. There's still $3.5 million out there for Devin Singletary, and we know we got
do some restructures, right? Burns, I think you can restructure Burns, right? Yeah.
So there's a couple of things that we could do. We already paid $1 million to Devin, so we would owe him 2.5 if we trade him off to some. Well, we wouldn't owe. We'll gain 2.5 if he goes off to somewhere else. So
and you got the Russell Wilson potentially trade.
We got the Russell Wilson.
Right?
There's a couple of things that they could do, and just to correct you before, we do have our third pick for next year. So,
I don't think we do.
Was it our third?
I think we traded up a Dar for that. I'm pretty sure.
Was our third? I thought it was our third. No, yeah, it was. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it was our third.
Yeah, because I looked that up right before the show too.
But we have a ton of other picks, man. Like,
hold on, I got the picks out.
Yeah, because we have 1 through 7. You're right. The only one we don't have is the third one. But we
don't have 3, right? We have 1 through 7, right? We have
1 through 7.
1 to round 6 pick plus.
Yeah.
Because a pick from Dallas.
Yeah, we got a pick from Dallas. I'm about to say because that's what we got from Jackson Dart.
Yeah, and then we don't have a 7th round. Okay,
yeah, we don't have a 7th round, but we got a couple of extra picks. But I hear the going rate for Rashid is like, I know you said it's like, but that you talk about like a number one who just wants to dip, but Saints ain't doing nothing. Like they're really not doing anything, bro. Like we may be able to skate out here with a 5th round, like. Even a 4th rounder, like I'll give him a 4. Yeah. For Rashid because I think he's the best fit to what we need to do right now. Because Jalen Hyatt is not catching air. He's not even homie can't even catch air in a hot air balloon, man. Like it's really, and I really had high hopes for him, but I think some people just can't play in New York, man. The brights are too light. The
brights are too light. The lights are too bright. Drunk sports talk, ladies and gentlemen.
You know what I mean? The lights are too bright and the brights are too light. You know what I mean? Like, I'll keep it a buck. And that's what really goes to show, like, how people can progress when they leave New York. You can see how, like, it's very rare that you see somebody, like, leave another organization unless they were just really that talented and, like, poorly, like, whatever. But for the most part, why the newspaper articles always want to bring up that, Sam Darnold went here, Zach Wilson went here, this guy went here, like, Daniel Jones went here. Like, okay, so like what? Odell Beckham went here, and then show their success and broadcast it on live television like they didn't have, success. And even if they didn't, like now it's our fault, like, and that just goes to show like how nitty and gritty it could be out here. But and it's not like the fans is doing it, gonna beat you down if you don't become a winner. We just want you to help us win. And if you can't do it, then you can do it. And I think Rashid, like he'll be a great person to put as a number 2 when Malik Neighbors comes back, because they're two similar people. It's just Malik Neighbors is better because he runs better routes. So the different, and that's just my single opinion because you could put Malik Neighbors on the field anywhere, man. You're not gonna know where he's going he'll be able to get open in 2 seconds as long as you're able to
Yeah,
see him.
Malik is special. I hope.
You
I
know,
don't think
and
I don't think Malik is gonna come back next year. Definitely in the beginning of the season. He's gonna take a hot second, but I think towards the end of the year you'll see him get back. He's a special player. Yeah, for sure.
and we're gonna need somebody like that, and I think having that's that's my number one pick. You know what I mean? Like that's who I would go for. Because Christian Watson, we seen what he could do with Jordan Love. And Jordan
Yeah.
Love is nice too. Christian Watson don't really be going too crazy like that. I want somebody to really make offenders be like, okay, you go over there because then that's when you can really change your play calling. Because they know, damn, I really got to chase this guy because or Jalen Waddle. I don't think that
Right.
Jalen Waddle is gonna really be happening, but unless the Dolphins really feel like they got to rebuild all over again because Tyreek Hill's not going to come back the same. And
Dolphins are in
Tua's
shambles, man. They might be. I don't know the contract. I gotta look. I'm not gonna. I gotta look at everyone's contract. This is just like spitballing or whatever. But yeah, you might be right. I gotta look with the contract. That dictates a lot. What the contract looks like when his deal is up, blah blah blah. But just on a talent perspective, I would if we could somehow acquire him, I would sign. Let me look at his
yeah,
contract now. I would sign for
yeah.
Jalen
That's what
Waddle.
I'm saying because I don't think it's possible to happen. We would have to lose more than we would be able to gain in the next years. But I know getting Rashid,
Yeah,
uh, we'll be able to get him for like something that we wouldn't even like have to break a sweat, but and still build a team and still acquire some players through the draft next year and pay some other additional players. You know what I mean? So because remember, we also have to pay his contract as well. So we get Jalen Waddle. Didn't Jalen Waddle just sign? Well, he's coming off he's gonna want some money
yeah.
coming
He
up.
signed through 30
Yeah,
guaranteed.
yeah. So
Yeah.
now we're not gonna
2030,
take
yeah.
that.
No,
We're not
sorry,
gonna take that.
2028. Sorry, 2028.
Yeah,
He
so
signed through
yeah,
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 2028.
because we're not gonna the reason why we can't do that because right now we're at the bottom of the barrel. I think we're 30th to 31st in cap space, so we're at the bottom. We can't afford to just take on a wild contract like that because he's
But
probably
the
getting paid like
NFL,
20.
the salary cap. Cheeky Barber has a saying: the salary cap is fungible. That means it's workable. It's like you could always. It's a little bit different in the NBA and really what I'm saying other sports. It's you want somebody you can go make it happen. You know what I'm saying? Like you could definitely go make it
Yeah.
happen, man.
And but those are everybody you just named.
Yeah,
Because I just heard only today that Jalen Waddle was gonna be there. But if they could
yeah.
somehow make that,
I don't see
those
that
would be
happening. Yeah,
me neither. But if we could get
but I would love
either
it.
one of them,
I
I
love
would.
it.
I would. I
Imagine
would.
Malik Neighbors and Jalen Waddle lining up on both sides. Nigga.
That's
What?
crazy.
With
That's
with
crazy.
with Tyrone Tracy and
Oh
Scatterboo and
man,
Bobo in the
Scatterboo.
draft.
Yeah, we got Theo Johnson.
You know
and
what I'm
then,
saying? Theo Johnson.
Put Rondo Robinson in the slot. I think Slayton needs to. I think Slayton needs to.
Shout out to
Slayton is
Wandell.
getting out of
Wandell's been holding it down in the absence
Wandell's
of
doing it great. I think Wandell
even
has
as a
really
deep threat. Wandell's
progressed.
been holding it down.
Yep.
Shout out to Wandell. Word of mother.
Hey, the only
Facts.
thing, man, it's like the only two people I'm worried about is like on the wide receiver core is Slayton because he caused that. You know what I mean? Like when you're a veteran like that,
Yeah.
you don't lose those fumbles in that Saints game. That was another turning point. I don't want to bring it back to whatever, but that, and then
facts.
you see Jalen Hyatt who only had three receptions this year.
I've given up on
Like-
Hyatt, man. And I hope he
like-
proves me wrong, but I've given up on him, man. I've given
But I
up on
think
him.
I think at this point, I think he's reached his pinnacle with this organization. Maybe he goes somewhere else. And,
Right, needs a change of
ha-
scenery or something. but
yeah,
something
like what you
something
said
not right.
earlier. Yeah, maybe he might go somewhere else and have more success. But right now, it's not working out for what we're trying to accomplish. And right now, even though we're not trying to get to the playoffs or Super Bowl this year, and if we do, oh man, then that's fucking awesome.
Facts, though.
But that's the goal in mind. And if you're not able to be there and help us accomplish that goal, you know what I mean? We're not going to get there with a wide receiver on our payroll, with 6 receptions for 50 years for a whole 17-game season. You know what I mean? Like at that point, just put him in the practice squad. So trade him off or do something. Figure it out. But I think we have some moves to make, and they're definitely gonna happen before the trade deadline is over because the Giants definitely need to win more games if Dable wants to still be intact with this Giants
Whole
organization.
fact, though. Yo, great fucking analysis, man. Good shit, man. Real motherfucking talk, man. Y'all, I think I want to bring drunk sports talk back, man. I don't know. Real sports talk don't hit
For
the
what,
way
man? We
fucking
already
drunk
do it
sports
based
talk
off
do.
of real sports. Let's do it, man. Whatever you want to do,
You know what I'm saying?
down
Like
for
I know. We might have sold the soul of the show, just trying to go corporate and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like just you know what I mean? Everybody get money. We don't. You know what I mean? We just do this because we love this. But
Yo,
great analysis.
we gotta put a poll up, yo. Everybody who watches this in the comments, y'all let us know. Do y'all prefer if y'all seen us and y'all know what we about and how we conduct our shows? Do y'all prefer drunk sports talk or real sports talk as the show name? And you know, yo, we might even sip through the comments.
I'm drunk right now.
Yo, somebody might get a free T-shirt or something. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm drunk right now.
That's a fact. Yo, you know, I don't know if there was any pause moments, but we didn't have any. We didn't catch them because the pause police actually weren't on the show tonight. Shout out to the pause police. Word them up, man. You know what I'm saying? But great show.
Thanks.
I want to thank everyone for tuning in. This is pre-recorded, but when you're watching this, I want to thank you for tuning in, and I want to ask you, please, I see the numbers, the views are good. I need if you guys could just hit the like, smash that like button, like all these guys like to say, smash the like button, subscribe and share. It'll help us grow exponentially, like T.I. said, exponentially. You know what I'm saying? It'll help us grow exponentially. Because when you hit that like button, when you share, when you subscribe, when you comment, it all goes in this mysterious thing called the algorithm, who no one has really figured out yet because the shit keeps changing. Every time you think you figured out they change the algorithm.
They kick you out the matrix.
You know what I'm saying? But please, when you hit that like button, and it doesn't cost anything, just tap the like button. And I'm guilty of it myself, and I'm trying to be better. I'll be watching somebody's video and I don't hit like. Listen, you like you watching my video, show some love, show some respect, hit like. But appreciate you guys listening. Some really good content coming up. We got the Knicks season coming up. We're gonna get busy. We're gonna it's gonna be a fucking amazing season, man. Shout out to the Knicks. Shout out to Mike Brown. Malcolm Brogdon retired. Maybe we'll talk about that Friday or Saturday. Yeah. But once we see the rosters locked, the roster spots locked down, and the season kicks off, you'll get more Knicks, content from us because Knicks, we have a lot of diehard Knicks fans who watch the show. Great shit. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Q, you want to take us out of here?
Yeah, let's go. You gotta pour a cup.
I'm saucy. This is the first show I've been drunk in a long time, man. That felt good. Pause. But I don't know what the fuck.
That's it, because you know what, we're celebrating. Celebrating because the Giants
are
good
I'm so drunk I can't find my shot glass. That's crazy.
Clip this when you see it.
That's a fact. I'm out to use my own. Oh, it's behind my seat. I'm drunk right now. All right, so take us out of here, Q.
Yo, y'all already know what it is. It's 4 and the 6 in the trap.
Yo,
if you guys haven't seen or bought any merchandise yet, make sure you go check it. Yo, the link is gonna be in the description of the show.
Really dope. So did you put that new cat in there yet or not?
Nah, I'm not even going to. I'm not even going to lie for the fans. But I'm gonna do it tomorrow. Yeah, that one's even better than the last one. So don't worry about it. Yo, we got some dope T-shirts for y'all. Yo, it's gonna be hoodies coming out because it's hoodie season. So we're gonna put some ill graphics. Yo, support the channel, support the show. We support y'all. Y'all know what it is, man. Yo, we from Queens. We the voice of the streets. Yo, Cash. Salute, bro.
Salute, my niggas. See you next week. Let's get it popping.
Peace.